Good morning all. Excuse me if I start from the demonstration. Now I will explain you why we made
Talking Hands.
I am Francesco and I work for deaf people. For deaf people, we mean people that don't have the gift of voice nor hearing. Anyway, they are able to understand us through lip reading. Another problem is that we don't know how many sign languages are present in the world today. For example, just in Rome, we have 10 different dialects. There are about 70 million deaf people worldwide. Due to their communication problems, it is difficult for them to develop normal social and working relationships. Anyway, you may have heard about the so-called text-to-speech applications, where the user, in this case the deaf person, puts a text inside the text box, and when he finishes, he presses a button, and the smartphone will start a speech synthesis process that will talk on behalf of the deaf. But this solution is limiting. So we created our own solution to open words, Talking Hands, a wearable device that translates your sign language in voice in real time. You can associate to each gesture whatever you want, a single letter, an entire phrase, or a word, creating your own sign language. Talking Hands will let deaf people to get out of the silence, enabling them to a first form of communication with those people who don't know the sign language. Now, if you allow me, I want to make a reasoning with you. We live in an historical moment in which the technology, and especially the use of technology, may increasingly separate and degrade our relationships, the real ones. But, of course, bringing people closer with the use of technology is one of the greatest things that man could ever have thought. As a matter of fact, in the great dictator movie, Final Speech, Charlie Chaplin said,
"The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men.
But a misuse can be degrading.
We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little."
We think too much and feel too little. It was 1940. He was talking about the war, but these words are more than actual in the context that I'm dealing with you today. As you already know, one of the largest, let's call in quotes, plague of our relationships are social networks. Yes, because when we are sitting at a table with our friends, our colleagues at work, we no longer bother to build relationships, improving the existing ones or creating new ones. We prefer to play our smartphone. But of course, social media and social networks have some pros. They are really useful if you want to spread your idea worldwide or if you want to build up a community, spreading information about that community worldwide and in real time, like we do for the TEDx community. In fact, here in front of you, I want to demonstrate that technology is not only divisive, but can also present an improvement on our lifestyle, can unify and gratify in the manner that is able to put the human at the center and not the media anymore, in the manner that is able to amplify the relationships within the society, including people with disability too, merging our words, our culture.
Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness.
Let us all unite to make this world better. Great words. These words inspire me and hopefully you to make this world a better place. But how? What is the thing that will help me and you to make this world a better place? As I said, with the use of technology, we can empower people, breaking communication barriers, and this way helps others. So what is the thing that will help me to work hard to make this world better? Not until I had prepared this TEDx talk had I thought about this word and its level of conviction. Passion. Passion is the only thing you need. I really love this definition of passion from Larry Smith during one of my favorite TEDx talks ever.
Passion is your greatest love. Passion is the thing that will help you create the highest expression of your talent. Passion, interest, it's not the same thing. Are you really going to go to your sweetie and say, marry me? You're interesting. Won't happen. Won't happen, and you will die alone. What you want is passion. It is beyond interest. You need 20 interests, and then one of them might be grab you, one of them might engage you more than anything else, and then you may have found your greatest love in comparison to all the other things that interest you. And that's what passion is.
Nevertheless, even when we happen to find our passion, looks like a tiny, tiny piece is still missing. For example, I have a huge passion in technology, research, and helping others. But passion, however, seems like it's not enough, especially when I'm talking about a long-term commitment, about decades, not just a 6 or 12-month project, not a bachelor degree or a master degree. What about when I'm talking about an entire career? You may lose the initial enthusiasm. You may think about quitting. I know that because I feel like that a lot of times. For a better understanding, let's do a parallelism. Let's take a marriage or an engagement, for example. After 5 or 10 years, when you know each other so well, all seems to be perfect, and you don't have a lot of troubles. Usually, one or both sides desire some troubles, because all is just too calm. And this leads me to the next point. Why do the love stories of our grandparents, people born during World War I or World War II, looks like eternal, and 90% of them last their entire lives? Why is Stephen Jay a reference point for entrepreneurs all over the world? Well, Stephen Jay had a troubled life. People born during World War I or World War II had a tormented life. But are stressful situations and madness the missing piece? I don't feel like that. I don't feel that is the right answer. So I stayed with this thought for some weeks. And after that, I get the solution while I was thinking about my father, about what he repeated to me since I was 10 years old. Something like, you don't know the sense of sacrifice. If you want to obtain something in your life, you have to sacrifice yourself. Life may be hard or sweet. It will be sweet if you will be happy to sacrifice yourself for someone or for a cause. And he showed me this concept with facts. This is my father while going to his little store in my little village. He showed me this concept with facts because he had 4 different cancers in 13 years. And every morning he woke up at 5 a.m. going to buy fresh vegetables for his clients, serving them with a huge smile on his face all the day long. And he never complained about himself. And of course, he was happy to make this sacrifice for his family. So this is the key. The sense of sacrifice is the key, is the thing that will help you to have a long run. And you have to be happy to make sacrifices in your life because you're constantly growing. Remember the hardest exam you did and the time spent on preparing that exam. Remember the crazy days before a deadline and the amount of work done in that short time. Remember disputes with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom or your wife. And the time spent on fixing problems, probably screaming out loud. Don't you remember that with a huge smile on your face? Don't you? And you remember that with a huge smile on your face because all the time spent on that brought you to a moment of joy, the rainbow after the storm. And now I have a question for you. Do you remember in the same way time spent on social media? No, not for me, because there was no storm, nothing. Social media make you feel like you're a superhero, but you're not. You're just one of the billion users in this world that have enough money to buy a smartphone and enough knowledge to write something mentioned after an hash, with constant desire of hearts or likes, which make you feel that you're a better person, but in reality, you're just wasting time. I want to repeat it again. You're just wasting your time. And sorry for that, but I'm a PhD student in math, so I have to demonstrate it with numbers. So let's start. Usually, in the US, an adult spends almost 6 hours per day on social media or video platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and so on. So now I have to tell you a little secret. All of us have 24 hours. So if you agree with me, I can say that if we spend 6 hours per day on social media or video platform, 3 hours in primary activities like eating, 8 hours working, and 7 hours sleeping, we will have available something like 0 hours per day. I mean, 0. But I'm not interested just in one day, about 1 month, or 1 year. I'm interested about an entire life. But maybe an entire life is too much, also if it doesn't look like that on the screen, but maybe it's too much. So let's say the best 40 years of my life, from 20 to 60, when I'm really full of energy and I'm really free to decide about myself. So if I spend 6 hours per day on social media or video platform, it means 2,190 hours per year, so 13 weeks per year equals to 521 weeks per 40 years. And this means that I wasted or used more than 10 years of my life. Is it enough? I have to explain it in some other way. As I said, social media and social network, of course, have some pros. They are really useful if you want to spread your idea worldwide, if you want to advertise your product, if you want to know specific news about specific topic, of course, from trusted channels. But social media are not good for your growth. Social media are one of the things that injure your growth at all and don't stimulate your sense of sacrifice. To stimulate your sense of sacrifice, you need to try new challenges, and you need time for that. You should never think something like, oh yes, now I've done my job, it's not my competence to do this or that. I want just to stay here and watch some Instagram profile. No, you can learn how to do it. You have the internet. You have billions of books, articles, tutorials for free. You can learn how to do it. Leonardo da Vinci is still hitting his hands because he didn't have the possibilities we have today. So learn how to do it. Go and help your colleague. Start with the next step of your project until it's not time to go home. And once you're home, you have 6 hours left. I mean, more than 10 years in 40 years. So you will be ready to make some other sacrifice, like listening to your grandfather's great stories about when he was 25. He is a real superhero. He probably did World War II. He raised your mother and probably you too. So listen to his great stories, because one day it will not be possible anymore. Bring him and go into an expensive restaurant. Pay for him like 1,000 euros, and don't spend 1,000 euros for the new cool smartphone, the coolest about Q1 2019. Make him feel important. Everyone wants attention. Why are you posting pictures on Instagram? Your grandfather is not different from you, but he knows that an hurt exposed on social media is unnecessary, and a hug from his grandchild is priceless. Enjoy your children. Clean their poo, laughing with your wife. You have to be happy to make the sacrifice, because you could be creating unforgettable moments, just like my father did. Sacrifices are the most valuable investment you can do in your life, and sacrifice is the sense which will bring you to a complete fulfillment.
I have done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.